everybody. This is Jeff Raskin, and we have Mr.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, also known as Jake Youngs here with the Tech for Podcast. Thank you for being here today. So last time we spoke about the NAR, National Association of Realtor member benefits. I thought we did a really cool deep dive into that. We talked about all the cool things that they have. So now we're going to go down in pecking order from our National Association to our state association right here in beautiful Arizona. We call that the Arizona Association of Realtors, also known as AAR. But since they got rid of Association of, it's just called Arizona Realtors is what it is anymore, right? So let's go ahead and talk about some of the member benefits that we get with our dues, because I know a lot of people will go, what does NAR do for us with our dues? What does AR do for us with our dues? So we're going to tell you in today's episode going on our state level. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the obvious. Should we just do the obvious one?
The thing that nobody thinks about is the most obvious one.
And you know what? It really is the truth, because I asked this question. I'm like, by the way, who actually produces that 100+ forms that we use every single day? And people are like, I don't know. Is it MLS? No. Is it national? No.
Is it Lone Wolf?
Yeah, is it low? Yeah, no. They don't do that either. It comes from our state association.
So here's the mind-blowing thing is, it says that at the top and at the bottom.
It does. It does. It literally says Arizona Realtors, and then in little letters they have Arizona Association of Realtors, and they are the ones who, with their lawyers and with also the forms committee, which they go over with us agents, and it talks about what they want to put in their new forms. So I just want to let you know, all of the forms, everybody, are copyrighted, and they come from our state association.
Here's the mind-blowing thing about those forms real quick. I've heard this from some pretty good sources in the past. Apparently, the forms that we have here in Arizona are so good and complete that realtor associations from other states have come to us looking to copy our forms.
Yeah, and not only do they copy our forms, but I want to let you know, we are one of the, at least in the top 3 probably, one of the most organized state associations. I've heard, seriously, I've been around the country teaching, and I've heard what other state associations do. You would be baffled, everybody. There are, I mean, you can't even imagine. By the way, there's one association, not to digress too much. Did you know that they write their offer and there are no counteroffers? They actually cross out the things in the offer and then they send it back. I know. I've heard everything. So I do want to let you know we are a super organized organization at a state level as well as a national level, but we're talking about state. And yes, a lot of different associations from state associations from other parts of the U.S., they do come to us. So I do want to let you know. So those forms, copyrighted documents, and that's what they are there. So that's the first thing, most obvious, or maybe not obvious, but probably the biggest thing that they do for us.
That's really cool.
Okay.
Super cool.
Now, the next thing that you mentioned a little bit earlier on is that now that you have the forms, what platform should we use to go ahead and fill out those forms? So you can go ahead and type it in instead of trying to do it in a PDF.
I have this thing called a pen.
Yeah. You could do that. You could print it out and do the old-fashioned way from 50 years ago.
But
I guess we could have done.
That would not be very paperless office of us, now, would it?
That's absolutely right. So they give a member benefit from a company that actually does come out from Lone Wolf, as you mentioned before, out of Canada. And Lone Wolf owns several different companies. Believe it or not, they own ZipForm. If you've been in business for more than 5 years, you probably know what ZipForm is. That's what we use as our form writing platform for 20 years before that. Well, they bought them up from NAR. So they actually own ZipForm. But the member benefit from our state association is a product called Transaction Desk. I'm assuming that most of our audience out there has heard of it before, but it's called Transaction Desk. And the electronic signature portion of it is going to be called AuthentiSign. That's built into Transaction Desk. So,
Which, by the way, is a phenomenal product.
it's an all-in-one product, everybody, and I'm telling you, I work with a lot of agents who go, Jeff, what are you talking about? I pay $250 a year for Zip Form. And I go, why? And then they go, and then I pay another $240 for DocuSign. And I say, double why? You're paying basically $500+ to do something that we get for free. My favorite four-letter F word. So I'm not understanding why you would use something else, although there are brokers out there that actually do use other form writing platforms. .loop is one that people, SkySlope is one that people use.
There's one called Next TMX
There
that's
is.
kind of taken off.
There
as
is.
well.
So some of these other ones, but I need to let you know, if they want to use our AR forms, they need to call up Arizona Association of Realtors. They need to say, hey, you need to give us permission. I'm sure they write a little check for that. And then they'll go ahead and they'll release the forms to be used in their form writing platform. But the one that is no extra charge for us other than what we already pay is going to be called Transaction Desk on AuthentiSign.
Yeah. It's kind of like talking about free medicine in some countries, you know? It's free, but you still pay for it.
And that's what we do.
Yes.
Now, talking about other forms that need to be filled out, we're going to be talking about, let's talk about really quick about the SPUDs. Okay, so the seller property disclosure statement.
The sack of potatoes.
Sack of potatoes, right? SPUDs. So the thing that is crazy about it is that I still am looking in Flex MLS, and when the agent does upload the SPUDs, phenomenal. If they don't, I'm asking them for the SPUDs. And guess what I'm seeing? Handwritten SPUDs.
Oh, by the way, one other thing to mention about Transaction Desk.
Yeah.
If you upload your documents into ARMLS and you're using Transaction Desk, if you create a file using the wizard, it will automatically copy those documents from the documents section straight to your transaction in Transaction Desk.
Which love that, right? You don't have to download it first and then bring it over in. So
yes.
Okay.
Anyways, back to you.
So, handwritten SPUDs. Oh my goodness gracious! Why would you ever do that? I can't read. My buyer can't read your handwriting, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. So I don't know why you do it. Which is why we have a member benefit that's for 2 years, 3 years now, something like that.
It's about a year and a half.
It's
still relatively new.
Okay, got it. And it is called Breeze, everybody. Just like the breeze, like, oh, there's a breeze in here, right? BREEZE. That comes from a company, parent company called SkySlope, which I'm sure you've all heard of before. So in other words, we contract with SkySlope, who produces a platform called Breeze, and it allows you to take the 10-page SPUDs. Is it 10 pages?
I think it,
I think it is. And what it does is it allows them to answer questions, and when they answer questions, everybody, it will give the SPUDs to you in a beautiful file format with no handwriting. Absolutely love it. Please go try it, and we definitely have a video on that one. Yeah.
Well, and remember, it's not just the SPUDs. Have you seen all the documents you can fill out inside of Breeze?
There's other things. They actually have the HOA addendum in there as well. And
solar addendum, well water addendum, just to name a few of the things that are in there. And by the way, again, did we mention this is a free member benefit?
Yeah. So anyways, that's what that is there. I love that one. My favorite of all times, everybody, and there's so many people don't use it. It is called the AAR Tech Support Helpline. Let's talk about this for a second. So I want to let you know this has been going on for over 6 years now, and I have to tell you, I don't understand why people do not know about it. They're not utilizing it because it is phenomenal. Let's talk about some companies out there. And by the way, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. They're all great companies. But let's talk about Geek Squad. I'm sure we've all heard of the Geek Squad, right? Well, I want to let you know you can pay for that at several $100 a year. And the problem with the Geek Squad, in my personal opinion, is that when you call, you're always calling an IT person overseas. And I just don't like that all the time. Sometimes,
Unless you show up in person.
yeah, unless it's in person, which they're not going to do that, right? And so that's what it is. So this is a great company that we contract through. It's actually owned by the Florida Association of Realtors.
Really?
Yeah, but the best part of it all is that they all are right here in the good old United States of America. They all speak perfect English. They answer their phones 6 days a week, which is really cool. And what it allows you to do is to call them up. And I want to remind you, they're not Realtor members, so please don't ask them about Flex MLS and don't ask them about how do I write a contract in Transaction Desk, because they have no idea. But what they do know extremely well, because they have the broken glasses with the tape around it, and they have their pen here with the leaky, ink and stuff like that. But what they actually will do is to go ahead and log onto your computer with your permission. And by the way, that code to get them on changes every time. So once they log off, they can't get back on. I want to remind you that all of their techs have been vetted before, so they're not criminals, anything like that. And the other thing that I want to mention to you is that they can't sneak in the background without you knowing. So it's not like while they're working on their computer, they're going to, wink, wink, go into your computer, onto your bank site. They're not going to do that you're going to see their cursor. What you see is what you get. And what they'll do is you can ask them literally anything you want. So, about technology.
Do you have the phone number memorized yet to get a hold of these
I do.
guys?
It's one of the few phone numbers that I actually do have memorized, believe it or not.
Woo.
So, 866-232-1791. 866-232-1791. And it took me a while to remember that. But anyways, because I have it on speed dial. But what I do want to let you know is that literally you could call them up and say, I have a virus in my computer. You could say, I just bought a brand new printer and can you help me hook it up? Yes, they'll do that for you. Oh, by the way, Jeff showed us a little bit about the paperless office, about the cloud. Will you just tell me again what that is? Crazy, crazy, crazy good stuff that they do for you.
If you need somebody to talk to, you can call them up, and I'm sure they'd probably be glad to help you out.
Yeah, well, it depends. Like right now, I'm pretty depressed, and I'm thinking, I don't know if they'll go that far, but they will help you out. Please put them on speed dial. They're wonderful. It's called the free AAR Tech Support Helpline.
Love it.
Okay.
So there are a couple other member benefits aside from this one that Jeff is very passionate about, needless to say. Some of the more obvious. Well, actually, they're not even obvious because most people have no idea this thing even exists.
Right.
Jeff, what happens if you and I start getting into a beef, we have a tussle, maybe over a contract or something going on? Who in the world can we call to get stuff sorted out?
The courts. I'm suing you. My lawyer will take care of it.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah. You can't do that, by the way, right? Code of Ethics says don't do that. You need to go to mediation first before you go to court. And by the way, that's in the Code of Ethics, which we have classes on. It talks about that. So one of the places that we can go is that AR has a free...
Well, they've got mediation for us, and they've got an ombudsman as well.
And they do. And so this is somebody who actually is going to go ahead and mediate or just fight on your behalf for whatever issues that you're having when we're talking about real estate and real estate transactions and things like that. I think that is a great member benefit as well to help us out.
Yes. So what's the difference between an ombudsman and the mediation, just in a short thing?
Yeah, so one of them is going, well, let's talk about mediation really quick, okay? So mediation, their goal is for you not to go to court, right? To go ahead and mediate out of it before you get to that level. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to hear both sides of what I call the PM, the pissing match, and from agent to agent is one of the things that they do, right? And so what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead, I know, and they're going to look at it and they're going to literally mediate you, hopefully, out of it so that you don't go to court and spend a lot of money on a lawyer and stuff like that. Okay,
that's a great synopsis of that.
This is what I would say. Now, if you need somebody to fight on your behalf, right, the ombudsman is a great way to go there. And I will give you a great example of this. I need to be careful what I'm saying here because there are some real life scenarios that are happening between our state association members and other organizations out there, right? Real estate organizations. I'm going to leave it at that because there are some ongoing things right now that, I don't want to get anybody into any trouble. So I do want to let you know that they will actually go and fight, for lack of better words, on your behalf to other entities as well.
Really?
Yeah. So, because remember, it's not like I'm mediating with another agent, but I'm just going after another organization altogether. And they do have that available to us, which is super cool.
And that's a member benefit, right?
It's a member benefit. Oh, one other thing that I forgot, I guess I'll stay on that. Anything else to go over before I think about my one other thing?
Not that I can think of with the local association or state association.
The state
not
association,
local.
yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Now, which by the way, they're different, right?
Yes.
And
We've
after
got the big three, remember?
Yeah. So really quick, not to. Well, let me go over this one other thing, then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
For brokers, they have what's called the broker helpline, and I want to let you know that if you have a broker question, a legal question, they have attorneys on staff that will actually answer your broker's questions. So if you go to your broker and you say, hey, I don't know about this, and they don't know about it, they're not going to guess. They're going to call the free broker helpline and talk with an AR lawyer who will actually go ahead and give them the legal answer.
Actually, I kind of forgot about that.
I know.
I'm not a managing or designated
Correct.
broker, but
Correct.
There are some phenomenal attorneys on that team. Like I think Rick Mack is still one of the lawyers on that team as well.
Right.
Among many other really good.
Aaron Green is the lawyer for AR at the time that we're filming the video. So,
Okay,
yeah, that's what it is.
great answer.
The other thing that I just want to mention really quick is, our national, our state, our local association all go together, right? So in other words, there's something called the three-way agreement, and three-way agreement means when you pay your local association, we serve SAR, PAR, there's 14 associations in the state of Arizona, and when you pay them, you're actually paying for the national, part of it goes to the national, part of it goes to the state, and then our state association, and then part of it remains with the local association. It's three-way agreement, meaning you can't pull out one. So you can't say, you know what, I'm pissed at NAR. I don't want to be part of NAR, but I do want to be part of the state so I can get those documents, those things. But I don't want to be part of anything else. You can't do that. It's three or nothing.
Well, apparently Phoenix Realtors thinks differently. But anyways, on to a different topic here. That's not a benefit. What is the benefits of the local associations and the MLS?
Yeah, let's start. Well, we might have to do the MLS afterwards because that's also a totally different thing. But
that's fair.
Yeah, but let's go over the three. So we went over the national last time. We went over the state. And now let's talk about our local. And remember, there's only one state association, that would be Arizona Realtors, and then there's 14 local ones. If you're down in Tucson, it would be TAR, Tucson Association of Realtors. If you're up in Flagstaff, it would be NAR, Northern Area Association of Realtors.
The NAR.
Yeah, the NAR. If you're down in Payson, it would be CAAR, CAAR, Central Area Association of Realtors. Okay, so let's go over this. We talked about at the NAR level, there's lots of discounts there.
Yes.
You would be surprised all the hyper-local discounts you get. And I'm going to take WeServe because I happen to be a WeServe member.
Both of us are,
and both of us are. And by the way, did you know we're number 5 or 6 in terms of size nationwide? We have like 24,000 members.
I believe it.
Yeah, and great CEO, great everything, but bottom line is they give a ton of discounts, everybody. And the discounts that I'm talking about are going to be, and yes, I am going to be talking specifically about WeServe because I know them best. But I do want to let you know, you can get movie tickets to Harkins at a discount. You can get, did you know that we now have dental and health care? You can also get, did you know that you can get 1 month of a shrink? which means a psychologist helping you out. I know, because we're realtors and we need this stuff. So just to let you know, but you can really get a ton of other things. But go to their website. I just mentioned like 3 or 4. They have tons of different things. Airport parking down at Sky Harbor. Oh my gosh, I just can't even
take advantage of that.
Yeah,
you can get a discount at the school called Tech for RE if you want to.
Thank you for bringing that one up. I didn't even think about that. We do, yeah. If you go to the WeServe website, they actually do have us in there, our school, and you get a discount there.
Yes. You go to Sunsplash and you get a discount. You can go to the Phoenix Zoo, Medieval Times.
You know what? I literally am going to join, and I'm not joking. That's funny. They have EOS, which I'm thinking about joining because I belong.
Oh, you should. I'm a part of EOS.
Are you?
Yeah.
And they have Planet Fitness, which I belong to now, but I'm going to switch on over because it's closer. I forgot. There's all the medical things that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Dental plan, BetterHelp, Crown Dental Plan. There's a bunch of things there.
National Health and Wealth. Those guys are good.
National Health and Wealth. Moving and storage. Personal services. Drone services.
Safety
remodeling.
and security, yeah. I mean, did you guys know that you can go to your local association, and in the case of WeServe, you can actually get a catering service at a discount from WeServe?
Yeah.
So for those of you who are planning your weddings or some other major party sometime in the near future, that's, I mean, gosh, 15% off of culinary catering. That 15% off, actually, that's a pretty good deal.
100%. So, by the way, utilize the discounts that we have on there. And then the other thing that I want to mention to you is what every association that's chartered by NAR actually has to provide, and that's education. And I have to tell you, everybody, the education, once again, I'm going hyper local with WeServe because I know them best. And I do want to let you know our education system, not only do they give in person, but they give online classes. And gosh darn it, and they just told me the numbers the other day, but a month, it's like 3,000 people that they're training every single month. It's a lot of agents, everybody. They have tons of classes, and for WeServe members, it's all free, right? So I just want to let you know.
Bar the designations and certifications, some other specialized training, that stuff you're going to have to pay for pretty much no matter what.
But at least they offer it, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of your local associations who aren't big enough to offer it, or they just don't offer it at all. WeServe does offer all of the designations, ABR, certifications, ePro, things like that. And then they give a bunch of regular CE classes as well. And I'm telling you, every single month, a ton of them. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they are the largest provider of CE credits in for continuing education in the state of Arizona, not pre, but post-education. And remember, the other thing that they have is they have it doesn't happen very often, but they have for the brokers, they have
the broker management clinics.
The broker management clinic, the BMCs, right?
Which, by the way, we have on the way as well. Those are coming soon.
We'll have that on the way. And so education is what they also have.
Those are all really, really good things to think about. And again, guys, these are the things that you don't wake up every day and think about this until you realize, that this stuff is here. Now, with that being said, we did just talk about the education. Of course, you should still come to us for education, but it's still a good thing to know that your local association does offer that stuff. Especially if you need something that, for whatever reason, we're not hosting, you can always go to them and find your education there.
Correct.
But save it as a last resort, is what I would say.
I love it.
With that, anything else you want to toss in about the local associations, local member benefits?
No, nothing that I can really think about. I think we really covered everything. And by the way, I just want to remind you, don't always go on price, everybody, with your local association. First, it is, in general, we're very well priced compared to other state or local associations across the United States. But in general, don't just go by price. Go by the member benefits that you get out of it. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of associations, and I've seen a lot of them that just they might be a little bit less expensive, but they don't offer all the things that we just mentioned. So
that is a fantastic point.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, that's right where we're going to leave you for this episode of the Tech 4 podcast. Again, thank you for joining us and listening to us go on and on for the last 20 some odd minutes. We appreciate you guys being here as always and look forward to having you in our classes again soon, as well as joining us for another Tech 4 podcast
100%.
soon. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.